Alright, welcome everybody. I'm the Constant Way, and we're going to do a real quick tutorial on how to get Judgement Eternal Champions set up on Vassal so that you can play online. The first thing you'll need to do is go to vassalengine.org and download the Vassal engine itself. And once you've done that, you'll need to grab the Judgement Eternal Champions Vassal module, which is usually posted in the announcements channel on the Judgement Discord, for example here, or it might be in this Vassal module feedback. You can check the pinned posts to find out where that's at. So once you've downloaded both those things, you'll open Vassal and then go to File, Open Module. Go ahead and select module itself and open that. I've already done it here, but once you do that, it'll show up and you can go ahead and launch it just with a double click or selecting it and pressing enter. Once that launches, you'll see a little startup wizard, pun intended, with Zim. Let's say we want to go ahead and play with an opponent online, so we'll look for a game online. When you load up, you'll find yourself in the main room. You can't actually create any games in the main room. You have to create your own room to do that, so just create that here with this new room, hit create. See, we've automatically been moved down here. Now, if you want some privacy, you can right click on this and go ahead and lock the room. That prevents anyone else from joining. Obviously, if you're expecting an opponent, don't lock the room before they join. But otherwise, that's an option for you. Not usually necessary. It's pretty unobstructive for people to hop in and out, so not something you need to worry about. But once you've created your room, you'll then go ahead and select the map that you want to play on. So you can go to File, New Game, and for this case, we'll just go ahead and select Cobblestone Map 1 of 3v3. This then pops up and asks you what side you want to be on. Generally speaking, if you're creating the map, go ahead and pick player 1. If you're joining the map, go ahead and pick player 2. That is relevant so that when we click the stat card button, see the stats of whatever it is you've selected pop up. That will automatically adjust if you are the same player. So if for whatever reason somebody joins later and also becomes player 1, they will see whatever you've selected in the stat card window when you're player 1. So this is the general Vassal UI. You can see there's the various game elements on the board here. We've got a shrine, we've got the soul pit, we've got a random monster token, and some markers representing where each of these things are. We've got our default effigies at the top and the bottom, and the various terrain you can see represented on the game board. Off to the side, you have your dice roller. You roll dice on here by simply selecting the number of dice that you plan on rolling, and then seeing the outcome of that roll over here. That's also represented up top here in the log, in the game log. And you can see the trackers for your fate, pluses and minuses off to the side here. So the next thing you'll probably need to do is pull out the models that you're planning on playing with. You'll do that by going to this models button. See player 1, player 2. The only difference here is the default rim color that they start with. It doesn't actually matter what you pull from, but let's say we want to play the starter Ista Warband, so we'll go ahead and grab Brock. This is filtered by the class that the hero's in, so we know Brock's a bruiser, we know Marcus is a tank, so we'll grab him. And we want to go ahead and play with Saiyan, so this is Soul List, we'll grab her. There. Then the next thing we do is, since we know we're playing Ista, we'll go ahead in this Gods and Effigies tab, select Ista, pull out this token to represent our effigy power so that when we use it during the game, we can pull that out as a reminder that that is active. And then I'll grab both the top and bottom effigies for Ista, because I don't know at this point in the game when I'm doing setup if I'm going to be on top and bottom, so I just like to pull both out just to be prepared. The other thing that I'll do is, because I want to, just for convenience, I like matching the colors of my effigy and my heroes. So in this case, I'm just going to drag and select. You can drag to multi-select. And then whenever you're going to interact with a model on the Vassal board, you can go ahead and just right-click. You'll see the various options to interact with the model. So the core functionalities like deleting, cloning, or copying, changing the name, adjusting the rim, etc. are available here. Adjusting health points with wounds, adding souls, or marking status like conditions, for example. But in this case, I just want to change the color of my effigy to match my heroes, so I want it to become this light blue. That's accomplished by this next or previous rim option here, so I'm just going to use the keyboard shortcuts. I'll drag and drop and then Control R to switch until I've got this light blue. It's all consistent. I was bringing a hero that was not a champion of my god, so for example, Masuzi is not a champion of Vista. I'll probably just select a slightly different color so that as a reminder to myself and my opponent that he's not a champion of Vista. So delete him. And yeah. So once you've rolled off and determined who goes first and what side you're on, I'll go ahead and replace the default effigy with the effigy specific to my god. So just for example, let's say I'm top, so I'll go ahead and get rid of that and drag this in. The thing to watch out for in threes is that the effigy tokens by default are set up with 20 health to account for 5 versus 5, but in 3 versus 3, the effigy's maximum health is 16, so we'll need to make sure we adjust that down manually at the start. And then once we've got that in place, let's say we just have our setup here and are ready to go. My opponent's all set up and we've got a random monster. Oh, it's an Algorath. That's exciting. So then that's the other catch. So by default right now in the Vassal module 2.0.17, the default monster tokens include test realm heroes like this Algorath here. So if you want to make sure you're not going to get a weird test realm hero, go ahead and go to this monsters tab and select the monster token, the random monster token that's relevant. In this case, this is a tier 1 monster. Go ahead and get rid of that Algorath, drag that in, make sure that that is as it should be. The other thing that you'll want to do with monster tokens is because monsters are going to be spawning throughout the course of the game, go ahead and just create a copy using Control C and drag that over to the side here so that that's available. You don't have to go digging through these tabs and pull that out every time a monster spawns. It's kind of a pain, so nice to have a copy off to the side. One call out is when you're copying things on Vassal, you don't actually have to paste anything. It's just the act of copying that creates the copy. I've created a copy of this random monster. You can tell when I hover my cursor over it, we've got 2 copies there. I'll just drag that off and you can see there's 2 there. So have that set up, that's convenient. If you're going into, again, sort of the pre-game setup, we've got hero tokens, so maybe I want to pull those out and be ready to use them. So Saiyan has Augury, for example. We'll click on her, we can see she's got Augury as an active ability and Holy Shield, so I'll pull those out. Those are buffs. So Augury and Holy Shield, make sure those are ready. We've got a couple more, but we'll carry on for now. And then if, for example, Saiyan was to use cast Augury on a hero, you'll just take this token and drag it next to whatever hero it's relevant to, whatever it's cast on, and then when they move around, you'll that token with them. Then there's 2 other features that you'll use pretty often, and that is the update of a name. So let's just say, for example, we've got this random monster, Brock went and killed the Gloom. So Control Z makes something dead, which is convenient for heroes, especially because Judgement, when heroes respawn, they respawn normally on -5 max of their maximum health. So you can see that when a hero is dead, they automatically get -5 to their health. Playing a hero, specifically if you're playing Ista, you'll need to manually adjust that back up to account for her warband bonus, but otherwise it's a convenient feature. But let's just say Brock went here and managed to kill the Gloom, got the Fate, got the Bounty, he's level 2 now, and he wants to go shopping. So if he's going to buy an item, you do have these magical artifact cards available to you. Let's say Brock went ahead and bought himself a Vorpal Blade after killing the Gloom. So you can go ahead and drag the card down here and have that available as reference, but how can you tell who it's equipped to and so on? So what's very common is that you'll go ahead and actually rename the hero. So you can do that again using this core change name or Control N. And in this case, to note that he's got a Vorpal Blade, I might do something like just say +1 mil to indicate the effect the Vorpal Blade has on Brock, or I might just say VB to represent Vorpal or whatever it is, and use that here. It can get a little lengthy, especially with like the demon heroes who have to choose their level up abilities when they do it. So if this is a Drelgoth, for example, let's just say it's Drelgoth and he's level 3, he might have Empower as his level 2 that he chose, and then Infernal as his level 3, and he picked up a Vorpal Blade, and he's got Boots of Agility, like it gets a little lengthy, so you might look for opportunities to abbreviate, or in the case of the name, you can just get rid of the name because based on the token itself who that is. So use that at your discretion. Um, but yeah, and then finally, the last big feature that you'll use is that once you've completed an activation of a hero, there's this mark moved feature. It's Control M by default, and it changes the rim from that solid color to sort of this checkerboard. And that's really convenient for making sure you're keeping track of who's activated and who's not. So over the course of the turn, everyone's ended up like that. There you go, everyone's done. And then during the next communion phase, what you can do is you can drag and select everybody, and then just Control M, and you've reset all the moves, and you're ready to go again. So hopefully that's been a helpful quick introduction to Vassal functionality. If you have any questions, definitely jump into the Vassal or the Judgement Discord and ask away. There's lots of folks who are more than happy to help you and run you through. If you're feeling scrappy and up for it, go ahead and join one of the ongoing Vassal leagues. Everybody there is super friendly, and if you just let folks know that you're new and learning the game, they'll be happy to run you through, a tutorial game, a demo game, or just generally take it easy, or give you as hardcore an experience as you want. It's up to you. But super friendly bunch. Definitely check it out. Hope this has been a useful video, and we'll hope to see you online. Take care.